Every night, a stray dog waited outside a small chicken shop. But one night, the lights never turned on.
Dogs feel when something is wrong, and this dog didn't wait. He started searching.
In a dark warehouse by the river, two criminals thought no one would come.
He saw the weapon coming and still chose not to run.
The stray dog with no name was about to become someone's hero.
The winter wind cut through the narrow back street behind a row of small food joints in Queens, New York. Trash bags rustled, neon signs flickered, and traffic hummed in the distance. That's where he wandered, a dusty, long-haired German shepherd with tired eyes and ribs that showed just a little too much. No collar, no name anyone knew, just another stray people passed without seeing. But every evening around 9 p.m., he had a destination. A tiny fried chicken shop sat on the corner, Sam's Halal Grill. The bell above the door jingled non-stop during dinner hours, but when the rush slowed, the owner would step outside with a soft smile and a paper tray. "Hey, buddy," Sam would say in his thick accent, crouching down. "You waited, huh?" The dog never barked, never begged. He just sat, calm, polite, like he understood dignity. Sam always gave him scraps of grilled chicken, sometimes rice, not leftovers tossed away, food served with care. Weeks passed. The dog's coat started shining again. His walk grew stronger. He began arriving earlier, sometimes lying near the door as if guarding the place. Customers noticed. "Your dog?" someone asked one night. Sam chuckled. "He's not mine. He just chose me." But Sam didn't know something. The dog had chosen him for a reason. Strays don't trust easily. Someone had once fed him before, someone who disappeared. Then one night, the dog came like always, but the lights were off. The metal shutter was down. No smell of spices, no sizzling grill, just silence. The dog sat anyway. Minutes passed, then an hour. His ears twitched at every sound, hoping for footsteps. None came. Finally, he stood slowly and walked away, looking back twice. The next day he returned earlier. Shutter down. No Sam. Now the dog didn't sit calmly. He paced, sniffed the door, whined softly. Something was wrong. Animals feel absence before humans admit it. That night, instead of leaving, he followed Sam's scent trail down the sidewalk, and what he found at the end of that trail would pull him into something far bigger than hunger. But who would a stray dog be willing to fight for, and what had happened to the only human he trusted?
The city felt different that night. Not louder, not quieter, just off. The German shepherd moved with purpose now, nose low to the pavement, paws silent against the cold sidewalk. The familiar smells of Queens drifted around him, car exhaust, old rain, pizza crust in a gutter, but he ignored them all. He was locked onto one scent, Sam. It trailed faintly along the block behind the chicken shop, past a laundromat that hummed through the night, then toward a row of small apartment buildings with fire escapes zigzagging up their brick faces. The dog stopped outside one basement apartment. He sniffed the door, scratched once. Sam's smell was strong here, but something else was layered over it now. Sharp, sour, metallic. Fear, struggle, strangers. The German shepherd's ears shot up. From inside, no TV, no footsteps, no movement. Just silence. He circled to the back alley window, half covered by cardboard. He pushed his nose through a tear in the tape. The room was wrecked. A chair on its side, a broken plate, the air heavy with panic that hadn't faded yet. The dog let out a low, deep whine, not loud, not dramatic, the kind that comes from the chest when something important is gone. Sam hadn't left. He'd been taken. The dog backed away slowly, mind working in the instinctive way only animals understand. He replayed scents like memories. Earlier that week, 2 men had stood outside the shop arguing with Sam. Loud voices, angry energy. The dog had watched from across the street, memorizing them. One wore strong cologne that burned the nose. That smell. The dog turned sharply and began trotting down the alley, nose testing the air. There, faint, but there. That same chemical scent clung to the dumpster lid nearby. One of the men had touched it. The German shepherd's walk became a run. Block after block, past a closed auto shop, under a flickering streetlight, across a road where taxis honked as he barely dodged tires. He didn't stop, because now this wasn't about food. This was about his human. And loyalty, once given, doesn't come with an off switch. Ahead, at the edge of an industrial area near the river, the scent grew stronger, mixed with oil, rust, and something else. Danger. The dog slowed, body low, eyes sharp. A warehouse light glowed in the distance, and from inside, a faint sound, a human voice. But was he already too late? And what kind of men hide someone in a place like that?
Cold wind rolled off the East River, carrying the smell of metal, salt, and engine oil. The German shepherd crouched behind a stack of wooden pallets across from the warehouse. One broken yellow light flickered above a side door, buzzing like an angry insect. The place felt wrong, too still, too watchful. Then he heard it again, a muffled sound. Human. The dog's ears locked forward, his chest tightened. That voice wasn't clear, but he knew the rhythm of it, the same tone that used to say, "Hey, buddy, you waited, huh?" Sam. The shepherd moved low to the ground, slipping through shadows along a chain-link fence where the bottom corner had been bent open. He squeezed through, fur brushing metal. Inside the yard, an old van sat crooked, back doors slightly open. The same burning cologne smell leaked from it. The dog's lip curled. Voices came from inside the warehouse now. "Should have paid what he owed. He talks too much." A sharp bang, something hitting metal. The dog flinched, then steadied. Fear was there, yes, but something stronger sat over it. Purpose. This wasn't about being brave. It was about not leaving. He crept to a dusty side window, cracked just enough. Inside, the warehouse floor was cluttered with crates and tools. 2 men stood near a chair tied with rope. Sam was in it, bruised, lip split, but alive. The shepherd's tail lowered, body trembling, not weakness, but the pressure before action. He scanned. 1 man near Sam, the other walking toward a table with a phone. Timing. The dog backed away from the window and circled to the main door, slightly open. Music played softly from someone's phone speaker inside, careless. He slipped in, silent. 1 step, 2. Then Sam coughed. Both men turned their heads toward him for a split second, and that was all the time the dog needed. He exploded forward, a blur of fur and muscle, teeth locking onto the arm of the man closest to Sam. The man screamed, stumbling backward, knocking into crates. "What the?" Chaos erupted. The second man lunged, trying to kick the dog off. The shepherd dodged, growling deep, placing himself between them and Sam, not attacking wildly, guarding, a protector. But there were 2 of them, and only 1 of him. 1 man grabbed a metal pipe from the floor. The dog saw it lift, and in the next second he would have to decide, run or take the hit to save the only person who ever showed him kindness.
The pipe came down fast. The German shepherd saw it, the flash of metal slicing through the warehouse light.
And in that tiny space between instinct and impact, he made a choice no one taught him. He didn't move away, he moved forward. The pipe slammed against his shoulder with a sickening thud. Pain shot through him like fire, but instead of a yelp, a deep, raw growl tore from his chest. He staggered, then lunged again, teeth snapping toward the man's leg. The attacker stumbled back, crashing into a stack of crates that toppled like dominoes. "Get it off! Get it off!" the man screamed. The second kidnapper rushed toward Sam, maybe thinking the dog would follow, but the shepherd didn't fall for it. Even hurt, he shifted instantly, planting himself in front of Sam, body low, eyes wild, daring them to try. Blood darkened his fur near the shoulder. His front paw trembled when he put weight on it, but he did not back up. Sam lifted his head weakly, vision blurry. At first, he didn't understand what he was seeing. Then his eyes widened. "Buddy?" he croaked. The dog's ears twitched at the sound of his voice. That moment, that recognition, changed something. The shepherd barked now, loud and fierce, the sound echoing through the warehouse like an alarm siren. Outside, a security light flicked on at a nearby dock. One of the men cursed. "This is bad, man. Neighbors'll hear." They didn't want noise. They didn't want attention. The dog barked again, louder. The man with the pipe raised it once more, rage taking over, but before he could swing, police sirens wailed in the distance. Someone had heard. Maybe the crash, maybe the barking, maybe fate. The kidnappers froze, then bolted toward the back exit, shoving past crates, disappearing into the night. Silence dropped heavy inside the warehouse. The shepherd tried to step toward Sam and collapsed. Not dramatic, not slow, just his body finally admitting what his heart refused to. Sam dragged himself, chair tipping, rope scraping, until he fell beside the dog. His hands, still tied, pressed into the shepherd's fur. "Stay with me, please, stay." Sirens grew louder, red and blue lights flashed through the dusty windows, but the dog's breathing was shallow now, eyes half open, still watching Sam, still making sure. Because heroes don't always wear badges, but would this one live long enough to finally have a name?
The flashing red and blue lights painted the warehouse walls like a heartbeat. Sam's voice broke as he kept talking, even though his throat hurt, even though his hands were still tied behind him. "Stay, buddy. Stay with me. You're okay. You're okay." The German shepherd lay on his side, chest rising in small, shaky breaths. His eyes never left Sam's face, even now, even hurt. Police burst through the door, weapons drawn, then froze. "Is that the dog? Call an ambulance and animal control, now." An officer cut Sam free, while another carefully approached the shepherd. The dog gave a weak growl at first, protective even now, until Sam touched his neck. "It's okay, they're helping." The dog stopped, because Sam said so. Minutes later, both of them were loaded into separate ambulances parked side by side. For the first time since he'd known him, Sam didn't have food for the dog. He just had tears. 3 days later. Sunlight spilled through a veterinary clinic in Queens. Machines beeped softly. The shepherd's shoulder was shaved, stitched, bandaged, one paw wrapped. He was thinner again, but alive. His eyes opened slowly, and there he was, Sam, arm in a sling, bruises fading, sitting in a chair he'd dragged right next to the metal cage. "You scared me," Sam whispered, smiling through wet eyes. "You big hero." The dog's tail thumped once, weak but real. The vet stepped in. "He's tough. Another hour without treatment and—" She didn't finish. She didn't need to. Sam nodded, then looked back at the dog. "You chose me," he said softly. "Now I choose you."
He reached into his jacket and pulled out a brand new collar, blue, a tag already attached. Sam opened the cage door, hands gentle as he slipped it around the shepherd's neck. "I used to call you Buddy, but heroes deserve real names." The dog looked up at him, eyes warm, trusting. Sam smiled. "Your name is Guardian." The tail thumped again, stronger. Outside, the city kept moving, cars, noise, life. But inside that small room, a stray with no one, finally had a home. Because sometimes the one you rescue ends up rescuing you first.